Hello and welcome back to Shakesyear. We are finishing up with The Winter's Tale today, and I hope that you've enjoyed this play because it's one that holds a special place in my heart, in large part because of the amazing female characters that are in this play. But anyway, before we get to all of that and the wrap up and everything like that, Leontes will finish off the play for us today. He has the monologue that's at the very, very end, and basically what's happening is everything is fine. Hermione has been being a statue for the past 16 years, but she's still alive. So she has been reunited with her daughter and with her husband. And Paulina approves of this match because remember Paulina said you're not allowed to marry anybody else until I approve the new bride, all that sort of thing. And Polixenes was there, and he and Leontes were able to reconcile. And since Florizel is now going to be marrying a princess, because Perdita has been determined to be Leontes' daughter, then it's fine that Florizel and Perdita want to get married. So everything is good. Everything is good. And after the big reveal yesterday, and after Hermione, sees her daughter, I do think it's interesting that she focuses on her daughter instead of focusing on Leontes. The first things that she says are to her daughter and where have you been? How were you raised? What has your life been like? Let me find out more. I think that's telling and very sweet and very, very honest of how a mother would be in such a situation. But anyway, she's like, tell me about your life. And Paulina's like, no, there's plenty of time for that. Why don't you all go and have fun, and I'm going to go, mourn my husband, who I don't get to ever see again. And Leontes says, oh, peace, Paulina. Thou shouldst a husband take by my consent, as I by thine a wife. This is a match, and made between us by vows. Thou hast found mine, but how is to be questioned. For I saw her, as I thought, dead, and have, in vain, said many a prayer upon her grave. I'll not seek far. For him I partly know his mind, to find thee an honorable husband. Come, Camillo, and take her by the hand, whose worth and honesty is richly noted, and here justified by us, a pair of kings. Let's from this place. What? Look upon my brother, both your pardons, that ere I put between your holy looks my ill suspicion. This, your son-in-law, and son unto the king, whom heaven's directing is troth-plight to your daughter. Good Paulina, lead us from hence, where we may leisurely each one demand an answer to his part, performed in this wide gap of time, since first we were dissevered. Hastily lead away. It's just a nice capper, because that's literally the end of the play. They all exit at that point and the play is over. So what he's saying is hush, Paulina, you don't have to spend the rest of your life mourning somebody. I have an idea for who you should marry, because since you had to approve who I marry, then I get to pick a new husband for you. And I have no idea how you found my wife, because I swear I thought she was dead. But I'm not going to have to look real far to find your husband, because Camillo over there has had his eye on you for a while. So why don't the two of you get married? And then he does a quick apology to Polixenes and Hermione, because he knows that they were also as close as they should have been. They were appropriately close, and they all used to be able to hang out together and that sort of thing. So he apologizes to them for his misstep in their relationship and coming in between their relationship and that sort of thing. And he's like, and then this is Florizel, who's gonna marry Paulina or Perdita, your daughter, and isn't that cool? And then they just all go off so that they can all catch up on what's been going on for the last 16 years, and that's the end of the play. So it has a very happy ending. All of the things get tied up. All of the people who didn't have a romantic partner now have one in the typical Shakespearean heteronormative sort of way. We have Camillo, who wasn't married to anybody, and we have Paulina, who lost a husband, so sure, let's pair them off at the very end. But The Winter's Tale, I think I love the women in this play. I love how strong they are. I love how smart they are. I love how Hermione stands up for herself. I love how Paulina always has Hermione's back. All of this sort of thing. Like they're beautiful, rich, brilliant, vibrant characters. And I think it's interesting also to see Leontes go from being this loving, doting husband to so insanely jealous, to come back around and realize the error of his ways and be able to forgive everybody. I think that that's an interesting arc to take, because you don't always have somebody seeing the error of their ways and forgiving people and being able to be forgiven by people. And just like the bit of Hermione's been playing a statue for the last 16 years is kind of amusing to me. Like I picture Paulina's been like putting extra dinner rolls in her pocket to like take to Hermione, and they have late night tea sessions where they dish the tea to each other. So Hermione knows what's been going on in the kingdom this whole time and stuff like that. Like it's a fun world. And then the fact that Act 4 is like its own little green world play where we take these characters, we take this baby, and then, time comes out and says, 16 years have passed, go. But then we're in this whole other world. We're now in Bohemia with non-nobility, or people who are trying to not be noble, because Florizel is sort of embarrassed of the fact that he's a prince at this moment. He's not too fond of Polixenes. But some stuff gets sorted out there. But then it comes back, and it does all end up tying back together at the end. I think it's interesting. I think that it's a fun play. I think, yes, the first half of it is really serious, and there's those that are like, the first half of this play is a tragedy up till Act 3, Scene 3. And then, like, once Antigonus goes out with the baby and gets mauled by a bear, it turns into a comedy, essentially, like a romantic comedy that ties everything up. And there are those that say that this mix of tragedy and comedy in one play together like that is what made Shakespeare's romances. Some people would call this one of Shakespeare's romance plays. But it's a romance that I can get behind. It's cute and it's sweet, and the fact that Hermione is probably most excited to see her daughter is just, it's so lovely to me. And I feel like this is a play about really, really great women and what really, really great women can endure and put up with and survive and all that sort of thing. And, women who have each other's backs. I really love seeing that in a Shakespearean play. Now, of course, that's not to say that you couldn't mix up all of the genders and all of that sort of thing if you're actually doing a production of it. You can make everybody female, you can make everybody male, you can have everybody be trans, whatever you want to do with it. I just, in the context of the time, Shakespeare wrote these as cisgendered, heteronormative people, and I think that it's lovely that he was able to honor women in that way when he wrote the play, if that makes any sense. So have fun with this play. Enjoy some of the monologues, because there's some great pieces in here if you need them for audition pieces. And yeah, I've said it before and I'll say it again, if there's a character in this play who you relate to who doesn't have the same gender presentation as you, so what? Do the monologue anyway, because these plays are about that. And maybe that's what the Hermione thing is, that it's like this parental love that gets to be most reconciled at the end for Hermione that I find so lovely. But anyway, moving on, tomorrow we get to start in on Timon of Athens, which is not a play that I'm terribly familiar with, so we'll sort of be learning it together. But anyway, it'll be fun, and I'll see you tomorrow for New Play Day. Yay!